This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back. Lots to talk about today, and something I'm going to say it's universal because it's something we've all experienced in different ways, but sometimes we're not really sure how to process or how to look at it. I'm talking about grief, which essentially is loss of something. We've talked with her about grief before because she practices and helps people with the grief recovery method, along with counseling and psychotherapy. And today we're going to look at why it's important to hold people accountable instead of compassion from where they actually came from. Different ways to look at this. So great to have her back. Fiona Mitten joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
I am well, thank you. How are you today, Steve?
Eager to delve into this because I'm hearing two things here, and I'm not even sure where we start. Where do you want to begin?
Well, I want to start from the where when before I got into the grief recovery work, I was trained as a counselor to be compassionate and understanding and not to my people. I'm still that, but not to their people who've harmed them, right? So let's say we have a little girl that comes to visit me and she's, I don't know, 15 or 16 years old, and we're having a conversation, and it comes around to the fact that her uncle had mistreated her. Like, I'm just using circumstances here. And I don't want to be the person that says, "Oh, but do you know where he came from?" Like I understand why he harmed you, because he hurt people, and that's not necessarily true. Not all hurt people hurt people. Lots of hurt people go and help people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's important for me as a grief recovery specialist and as a counselor to say to that little girl, you don't need to apologize for anything because he harmed you. We live in a world where we're like, oh, we need to be compassionate for those people. No, like when I get to talk with people, I'm a safe place for them to just be angry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to hold people accountable for how they've mistreated you. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to feel hurt and bitter. And it's okay to work through that and not be compassionate for a person that harmed you. Like I don't tell anybody it's okay they harmed you. No, it's not,
Mm-hmm.
right? We live in a world where we're supposed to be compassionate and empathetic, and that's my job. They don't need to be that to the people that harmed them, right? Um, but people want them to be. Don't you understand where they came from? They would have had it harder from you because a parent can teach what they've been taught. They don't need, but parents can make decisions to go to parental courses. They can make decisions to have counselors themselves. They can make decisions to make good choices for their children. Um, and so when we let people, I call it letting them off the hook, right? No, we don't need to do that for our own healing. Letting people off the hook is not healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
um it's our healing. It's not for the person that harmed us healing, right? It's our personal healing. So when I'm helping someone through their healing, because I heal hearts, that's my job. That's what I say I do. People ask me what I do for a living. Why? I heal broken hearts. That's what I do. And with that, um yeah, I need to shut. I didn't realize all this was on off.
Well, I
So
want to
I
ask you a question. So,
shoot.
and I agree with you. We want to give them a pass and understand. But what happens is then you bury it within you, and then you walk around with that severe pain of what somebody blanking did to you. Let's be honest. Let's get it
Mhm.
let's get it all out right here. Uh, and you may know where they came from, and you may understand that. Should that help even a little bit in the recovery of you? Just knowing, And whether they realize it or not, whether they're admitting it, well, look at how I was raised and all of that, and then I did this to you. Do you feel at least having a a reason for why they may have done what they did, is that helpful in your healing process?
Not really,
Okay.
because it makes excuses for them, right? Like when we've been damaged, whether we're male or female, lots of people are broken in places where they're broken because of abuse, whether it's
Mhm.
sexual, physical, psychological, wherever that comes from, someone's harmed us, like truly harmed us. Why do I need to feel bad for them? I don't. I don't. You don't. People don't. I don't need to feel bad for where they came from. It's not my job to feel compassion for someone who's harmed me. That's
Yeah.
their counselor's job. That's their friend's job. That's their people, not my people.
And I totally agree with you on that. And it's I'm saying is even if they're not saying, even if they're not giving an excuse, but you observe their life before and realize some things that could be the reason
Mhm.
for why they may have done. Does it give you any I don't know the word, slight comfort in knowing why they did it and maybe it wasn't you? Doesn't make it any better. Doesn't give them an excuse or you to allow them to have an excuse, but does it that understanding maybe soften the blow a little bit, or do you think not?
Not really, because everything you just said, and then you said but. So everything you said is gone.
I'm just trying to convince myself, that's all.
You are.
but
and
but
and
as
it's
we talk, it's like no. And especially for people that don't even apologize.
Mhm,
I wish I could hit the censor button at this point. For the horrible things that people do and then just walk
mhm.
away from it. And then you're sitting there with the pain, the wounding, the scars, and a lifetime of healing. Um, I'll just stop talking right there because it's gonna wind me up.
Right. And that's exactly it. So that's why we need to heal that stuff within us. Because if that's winding you up, you are personally going to a place where like those sons of right, like how dare they have done that to me? And we live in a world where we're not supposed to say that. We're not, well, we're allowed to, but we're not supposed to go, that person is a jerk. They did this, this, and this, and I am wounded. But society says, oh, but don't you know where they came from? They were wounded too. Well,
Yes.
good. That's fine. I understand they're wounded. I'm not trying to help them. I'm doing my best to help my client or
Right.
myself. Or
Yep. Yep.
like when something's riling you up, you automatically know that it's not been dealt with. That's how that's how I get people to not feel that feeling of woo, because they get to hold those people to account. So when we write the last letter to them to finish that relationship, not to close it, but to make you, the person, the client, feel protected and safe, right? That's my job. And we write a letter at the end, and you say, you did this to me, and I felt. You did this to me, and I felt. You didn't do this for me, and I felt. You didn't show up for me. When I told you your brother was hurting me, and I told you, Mom, and you didn't believe me. This is how I felt. You
Mm.
don't, so when you write that letter, and this is, you did this, and this is what I felt, you're writing a letter to you, to them, and to the universe or whatever you believe in. And we're going to burn it, and we're going to pray, or we're going to meditate, or we're going to do whatever we do. And that is now, that is the completion of that relationship. And no matter what you do, you're saying uh, goodbye. Like at the end of every letter, I make you say goodbye, whether I miss you, I love you, I hate you. No matter how you end that letter, it says goodbye, because you're saying goodbye to that unhealthiness of that relationship, whether they're still alive or whether they're not. So
Mm.
you're doing healing so you can see them down the street and not want to throw punch them because you've dealt with your healing.
Is that letter ever sent to them? It can be.
No.
No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. And let's look at this here for a sec. If somebody's done something to you, it has majorly affected you. They did wrong.
Mhm.
That's we'll establish that. Whatever the excuse was, it was wrong.
Mhm.
Regardless of the healing, the grief recovery, and we talk about grief here because there's a loss involved. So whatever they did, they took something from you. You lost something, whatever that may be. You're never going to be fully healed from it.
Not until you do the closure of it. Not until we do the healing from that. That's why I heal hearts. That's why, because when we do the work, we do one relationship at a time because we have a loss graph. Like that's what we start with is a lot. It's a graph of our losses. And that is very important because when we have a loss, we deal with each one of those at one time. This is a lifelong process. This isn't like a one and done.
Well, that's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they've done, you're going to be dealing it with for the rest of your life. And you may
Mhm.
be in a great place. You moved on. It took, a period of time and a lot of work to heal from it, but it's still inside you. It's forgive and forget. To hell with that. You're not going to forget. You're just not. It's in your DNA. It's in the, if you look at science, it's in the cellular level of your body. It ain't going nowhere. You
No.
just deal with it in a different way, going through grief recovery, working with you.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. It's really quite remarkable. Like I've had my own experience this week. So I'm physically going downhill very, very bad. Like with my MS is bad. And I've now been in
Sorry.
my wheelchair, thank you, for 8 straight weeks. And I've seen doctors and specialists, and they said to me 3 days ago, well, Fiona, there's nothing actually wrong, so it's just MS. And I'm like, and so I had my own, I went, okay. I mean, I've been like this for 21 years. Reality is, I still had to breathe that out and realize that I may not walk again. I may not, those things, I've been fighting walking for 21 years and doing it very, very well, but it may not come back this time. And so there I am feeling the same loss I felt 21 years ago with my first paralysis. Like,
Hmm.
oh, here we go again. So you don't forget that stuff and so now I'm dealing with my own damage and loss and the things that were taken from me before never did come back. They did partially, but not completely. And now they're completely gone again. So that's exactly, so it doesn't matter what the loss is or what we're going through. We still need to not, I now am accountable to my feelings because I'm an adult and I can deal with this stuff. And I don't want to run over the guy that hit me as a drunk person. I don't want to run him over, that's great because there was a time I wanted to kill him.
Now, hold on a moment. You never talked about that. What happened?
I got hit by a drunk driver when I was 13 years sober, and I literally wanted to kill him.
How old were you?
Mm, 13 years sober, I'd have been 20, no, 32.
Wow. Do you think that you didn't have MS at that time, right?
Mm-mm.
Do you think, and I'm going in a totally different direction here, but
Mhm.
this is based on, what you hear from uh, people that help others heal and such. do you think that that trauma in your body, and it's been said that we hold on to everything. It's in the
Mhm.
cellular level, even the stuff from childhood, it's in you. Do you think there's a potential for that accident, talk about traumatic, that you held on to that just because that's what the body does, and that could have led to maybe the beginning of the MS?
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. None. Absolutely.
Mm.
And that's
Well,
how life
we
happens.
just muddied the grief waters here, and also the forgiveness thing,
Mhm.
um and also we could say that person, they were drinking because, and then this happened, and I'm just saying that it could, some
Mhm.
may look at it that way, but yeah, I don't know. It's like some would say, well, you have to release it somehow. um but you can't. So I no, no.
I don't care where he came from. It's irrelevant to me. And that's the difference
Yeah.
between being able to hold someone accountable for their behavior in my heart, right? Um, because I don't want to wreck my life because he misbehaved.
Well,
That's
yes.
right. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if this happened, but at some point, if he showed up at your doorstep and said he was sorry, and you and was there was sorrow, like he just
Mhm.
you you're feeling it, he's sorry. Would it make any difference?
Absolutely. I had to forgive him for me. I had to
Okay.
forgive him. I forgave him years ago because I needed to forgive him for me. It had nothing to do with him. I didn't forgive him for him. I forgave him for me. I needed to not live with all that stuff and all the hate I had for him. It was wrecking me. It was killing me. I had stopped going to AA. I stopped going to meetings. I stopped taking care of myself because I was like, well, this is my life. Great. Thank you very much. Blah, blah, blah. And I needed to, that's why we talked about that, is forgiveness for them or for me. But we talked about that a few weeks ago. And forgiveness is always for us. It has nothing to do with the other party.
Mm.
Forgiveness is about our
Oh,
healing, not the other people. Yeah.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
and yeah, and it's weird how things may happen along the way. Like, quick example, there's somebody that in my life that needs to be forgiven. It's
Mhm.
not there yet. Major. Um, I'd say maybe I'm about 75% there. And number of months ago, I walked into a restaurant. There was a party going on, and it was a gentleman sitting there, and he happened to be the owner of the place. And somehow we started talking, and his situation was very similar to mine. And he started talking about forgiveness and how he forgave the other person, and on and on and on. And I swear it was almost like the universe put him there to say, "Yeah,
Mhm.
keep working on that, dude. You got a little bit more to go. It's going to take some time." And it did. It moved it, maybe got me like from 60% to 75%. Now I'm probably about 85, but there's always that little piece. And I don't know if I could ever. I don't know. I got to call Fiona. Okay.
And you can't, and that's the beauty of what you just said, is we do get to 100%. Like we don't, we make, if we make a choice of leaving that 1%, if we get to 99, we still want, if we still want to be mad, we are still holding that. Even if it's 1%, we have as people the
Well,
ability,
you said if we want to be mad. I don't think we
right?
want to be mad. We just are. Um, but I don't know what would make it better if somebody shows up at your doorstep and saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry." I guess it would. Like in my
Mhm.
situation, I guess it would be. I wouldn't react. I wouldn't say, "Oh." I would be like, "Well, thank you for saying that."
Right.
And that would be it, and it would move the needle. But that's about it, um, because we all have to process and work through it.
Yep.
Yeah, and they can't be done alone. I'm sorry, it's been a journey.
It, well, and because I mean, we say all the time, the scariest place that we hang out by ourselves is in our head, alone, dangerous place. Don't go there alone.
Well, true, but I didn't mean to say a but. True. And once you can be alone and realize that no one has your back better than you, you're in a much better place. But there is a but there. In this situation, you need somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm very sorry. I had no idea that you were in that accident years ago.
They're not accidents. We call them car crashes because it's intentional. When people get behind the wheel of a car or they're texting or they're whatever the reason is not focusing on driving, um, that's not an accident. They're making a conscious decision to make a bad choice, and that's a car crash, not an accident.
And you are a 1 billion% correct.
Yeah.
Isn't, yeah. You just use that word because it just comes out.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was intentional. It was
Yep.
unintentional, intentional, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to frame it.
Getting in the car is intentional. Picking up the telephone and driving is intentional. The consequences of that are unintentional. Still does not make it an accident.
Truer words never spoken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, um, how are you working through it? You're the person that helps others.
That's how I work through it sometimes. I mean, and I have people I talk to, right? I mean, I have counselors and I have friends that are counselors and because I'm not able to help myself because reality is people try to help themselves all the time. And that's why we are in a world where like, ah, da, 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 and they're broken people, but they don't realize they're under construction because they're doing it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess with the things that you learned in your goal of helping others and your purpose in life truly to help others, learning about grief recovery and all of that, it's helped you.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm. How do we help out others? How do we connect with you?
Uh, info at in my email is info@fffreedom.online and my website is www.fffreedom.online.
Thank you for sharing today. Thank you for your transparency in all of this and helping us understand it better. Unfortunately, you can't forgive and forget. I guess you can forgive to a point in this, but when somebody's done something, they don't get a pass for it and helping and hurting somebody else. That's the way I'm seeing it here. There's no pass, I'm compassionate, high level of empathy. I like to believe, but there's no pass on that one. Sorry, I just can't. I appreciate what you do, and that's just a piece of what you do in helping others through counseling and so much more. Thank you for being here today, Fiona.
Absolutely. Take care of yourself. See you next week.
You too. We'll be right back.
Okay.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.